Hey YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. We have talked about the quote-unquote weird things Italians do. We've talked about the things that I've stopped doing since I've gotten more accustomed to Italian culture. And well, today we're gonna talk about the opposite. We're gonna talk about the Italian things that even going into my 4th year of living here, I still don't really get. If you are new to my channel, I just want you to know that obviously these things are sweeping generalizations. Not every Italian is like this. This video was made based off of my experiences, and it's just a little something to reflect and kind of laugh at. And also, I don't think that any of these differences are weird in a negative way. They're just weird in like a different way. One Italian thing that I don't really get are certain illnesses. Also certain concepts that are completely foreign to me, like one that's really popular here in Italy is the famous colpa d'aria, or the hit of air, or getting hit by air. Yeah, that's a thing, and getting hit by air can cause many other injuries or illnesses, such as the cervicale. Cervicale is it's literally a stiff neck, and you know, we have stiff necks in America too, or in English, as far as I know. You know, who hasn't gone to bed in a weird position and then you wake up the next day with your neck that's stiff? I get cervicale, but it's just some of the things that cause cervicale. I don't know, I didn't know that literally wind or a gust of cold air could cause a part of my body to get stiff, or a gust of cold air can cause me to get sick. I've known people that will come in with a cold or even sometimes a fever, and you're like, oh, what happened? And it's like, oh, colpa d'aria. It's really similar to something we have in like Jamaican culture. My grandma used to always say, oh, you'll take up a draft, you'll catch a draft. So button up or wear a sweater, you know, like you'll catch a cold from being cold. But it's just a little bit different because, like I said, it can also, this hit of air can also cause other things that are like literal physical injuries, such as having a stiff neck. If you go on other expat forums or blogs, I know that foreigners really like to prende gli italiani in giro for this, like make fun of Italians for this because it seems so out there and weird and crazy. Now, I admit it's a foreign concept that I've never heard of before, but I think in Italy, it's not so out there. We have to remember that the average age in Italy is 40 something. It's an older country. There's a lot of old people here, trust me. And it's not too much of a stretch of the imagination for me to see an old person like walking down the street, they catch a little shiver, and that causes like, I don't know, muscle contraction or discomfort or illness. I feel like that could totally happen to an older person, and maybe since there are more older people in Italy, you hear about it more, and then bam, colpa d'aria gives you a cervicale. That's why Italians are always wearing scarves, because they don't want to get a colpa d'aria. Another Italian thing that I haven't really wrapped my head around, gotten used to yet, is just certain forms of courtesy, what's seen as being a polite, nice person, and what's not. For example, the whole kissing situation when greeting completely baffles me still. I mean, I understand why Italians do it. It's just, you know, a thing that they do. And I get it, but for some reason I can never pick up the right time or the wrong time to do it. I remember this one time I was visiting a friend, and then we went out to drinks with some of her friends, and when we were leaving, she like, you know, kissed everybody goodbye more or less, and so following her, I like kissed everybody goodbye, and then her boyfriend was like, wow, Tia, are you gonna kiss the bartender too? Because apparently I didn't really need to do that. I didn't have that like confidence built up in it, and it was even, you could even kind of tell from my face that I was a bit uncomfortable, because it's like I met these people 5 minutes ago, but you know, everybody's kissing, so I guess I'll just kiss too. It was super awkward. So that's one time where I was like kissing people when I didn't need to be kissing, but even other times when I should kind of be kissing and greeting people, I don't want to. Like every time I go to a party with friends and people are arriving at different increments, like after the 4th person, I do not want to like get up, handshake everybody, kiss everybody. Like, can't a hand wave from the couch suffice? And same thing when they're leaving. When they're leaving, you stand up, do a handshake, and do a kiss. I'm just like, I don't know, the first 5 people that arrive, they get the handshake and the kiss from me. The rest, you just get a wave, a nod of the head, how are you doing? I'm American and I'm kind of done playing this game. I don't want to say it's an American thing, because I know that some parts in America, they're much more touchy-touchy, but for me, touching people is just I don't know, it's weird. I have to be really, really close to you to even be giving you hugs, you know? The only time I would give a good friend a hug is if they're going away on a long trip, or if it's the first time I'm seeing them after a while. But if I'm just going out to meet them for a coffee, I don't feel the necessity to do the kiss greeting. I don't feel the necessity to hug them or touch them. To be completely honest, I'm still kind of uncomfortable when people talk this close to my face, which is so common in Italy. Just the whole idea of personal space here, I get it, I understand, but I'm not comfortable like reacting and acting in that way. Another thing that I still haven't exactly gotten used to is Italian sense of humor, and particularly Italian advertisements. I will be the first to tell you that sense of humor does not translate into other languages. I'll tell a joke and the room will be super dry, crickets, nobody will laugh. It happens to me all the time in Italian, which sucks because I think I'm a funny person. And vice versa, I will hear jokes being told. I completely get them, literally. I just don't understand how they're funny. I don't understand come fanno ridere queste battute, but okay. I don't know if it'll ever get there. Things that Italians find funny, I just don't. But I think Italians just have a really interesting way of communicating certain ideas, especially when it comes to print. One example of a weird Italian advert with that weird Italian sense of humor, Italian sense of irony that I'm just like, question mark?
Di leggerezza e golosità! Non esiste una colazione così cara. Posso un asteroide colpirmi se esiste.
There was kind of a little bit of a hubbub about it after it happened. People were like, that's kind of dark. That's kind of, weird. It made it past the drawing board. I don't know. Some of the things that get approved here as advertisements, I just say, who let that happen? I mean, we have these moments in America too, don't get me wrong, but it's just like, wow. I remember last year there was a huge controversy because the Italian Ministry of Health was putting out all of these campaigns talking about like the Italian fertility rate, how it's super low and people need to have babies, and people found them like super offensive, like telling women like they had to find the right mate. Some of them were a little bit racist. They were like, make sure you hang out with the right friends because this affects your fertility. And on the right friends, there was like this Aryan looking group of people, blonde hair, blue-eyed, smiling. They didn't even look Italian, honestly. And on the bottom, on the group of friends not to hang out with, there were all these people smoking weed. Of course, there were a couple black people in there. What are you guys trying to say? Another weird advert that I saw, and it's probably my favorite, is the Chili slogan. Chili is literally bidet soap, so soap to wash your butt, and the slogan is like, nel tuo intimo c'è chili. Literally, in your intimate parts, in your private parts, inside your genitals is chili. We're there. I get it, it makes sense, but is that really I don't know. Italian sense of humor, Italian adverts, irony, I'm just not there yet. This video would not be complete if I didn't talk about food. One food thing is the fact that Italians really like to peel their fruits, like big fruits, like apples, pears, peaches, and they're so good at it, so efficient, so fast. Every time I go back to Fano with Enrico and we have like family lunch together, out comes the fruit, and it's just this most awkward thing because here I am taking forever to just like taking off one square of apple skin at a time. What they like to do is they cut the peach in their hand and then they take a piece and they eat it. It's all so elegant. But my peaches, for some reason, I can never pull them out. I cut them too big and they never come out the way it does for a real Italian. And I'm just sitting there like, after 10 minutes of struggle and awkwardness, I just eat it with the skin. And I know that it must look so weird because Italians here, even if the fruit is washed, seem to have a thing against eating fruit, particularly apples, pears, and stuff. I mean, I've never seen them peel a grape, but apples and pears, you don't eat them with skin. You peel off the skin first and then you eat it. The final Italian food thing that I'm still just not there yet is the whole you have to sit at the table to eat. I mean, I get Sunday lunch at Nonna's and I get like big family dinners, but me and Enrico live in our own apartment now and he still insists that he's sitting down with table mats with forks and spoons, eating at the table every time. for lunch and for dinner. And I'm just like, Enrico, we can sit on the couch and watch a TV show while we're eating dinner. We don't actually have to sit at the table. And he's just like, Tia. And he just sets the table anyways. This whole idea of having to eat at the table is still completely foreign to me, even sometimes for practicality. I remember when I was going to university, I was in a rush in the morning, had to spend time on important things like makeup and picking out the outfit. And so I'd always be late, and what I would do is I would go by the pasticceria and I would spend €2 and just get a coffee ginseng to go and a brioche. And I would eat them on my way to school. But I was the only person doing this. People kind of like looked at me weird, and so after a while I would get the stuff to go anyways, and I would eat them at university sitting there. But even then, I was the only person eating before the class in the classroom or walking to university. Things that I think are completely normal to us like Americans. Food on the go, that's how you do it. It's not really done here, and I'm still not there yet. It's like, why can't I eat this brioche and drink this coffee while I'm walking without getting side-eyed? Do you guys live in a foreign country? If so, what are the things of that foreign country that you still can't wrap your head around, that you still are not used to, and that still give you problems? I want to know them in the comments down below. As always, guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next one. Mwah.